Hello, how are you doing? Welcome to B120 course and class. Greetings to my colleagues in other branches and my students in other branches. B120, what did we cover last class? Marketing. We started in the marketing business function, right? Which book? Book number? Book 4. Excellent. What did we cover in book 4 so far? The marketing concepts. Marketing orientation. Segmentation. Information. Marketing information. What about? Sales. Different marketing orientation, yes, different orientation, different business orientations, including the selling orientation and others, product production and so on. What else? Targeting, positioning, right? Marketing environment, internal, external with its 2 layers, micro and macro. You remember that? Okay. Today, inshallah, we'll start in session 3 of book 4. Session 3 is about understanding customers and consumption. Aims and objectives of the session. Outline the different types of buyer behavior. Explain the complex buying decision process. Discuss the differences between consumer and business buying behavior. Okay? This means that we have a consumer buying behavior and a business buying behavior, and some differences are there. What's the difference? Compare the rational approach to understanding customers and a social and cultural understanding of consumption. Describe 3 main aspects of cultural and social functions of consumption. These are the aims of this session. It's mainly about customers and consumptions, okay? So when we talk about customers, as far as we read now, customers can be classified into 2 types: consumers and businesses. Consumers means individuals, those people, you, we, I and you, okay? As people, as individuals, buying from different businesses. And sometimes the customer is a business by itself. Sometimes the customer is a business by itself. Okay, so let's see here. There are 2 types of marketing. When we talk about marketing, we have 2 types: the consumer marketing and the business-to-business marketing. What is the difference? The consumer marketing, when I go to the supermarket and get some biscuits, chocolate, whatever. When I go to buy a car for myself, and so on. Families, when families go and buy some products, okay? This is the consumer, the individual. What about the business to business? Okay, a manufacturer purchasing raw materials from another business, okay? That is specialized in selling such materials. So this is the business to business marketing. Now we understand the difference between them in general, or not yet, Simon? I can repeat it again. Okay. Now when you go and buy a product from a supermarket, getting, for example, a bottle of water, okay? When you go and buy this bottle, are you a business or a consumer? You are a consumer, right? Okay. And now assume a manufacturer bought raw materials from company XYZ, a manufacturer, okay? Is the manufacturer a business or a person? A business. So both businesses and persons are customers, okay? When we talk about persons, families, people, and so on, we talk about the consumer marketing. When we talk about businesses purchasing from other businesses, we talk about business-to-business marketing, okay? Clear? All right.
I buy some good and sell it again. That's called business to business?
Yes, sure. It's a business to business. When you buy for reselling, then you are a retailer or a wholesaler, it depends, right? Okay, so this means that this is a business to business marketing. Yes, you are right. Okay, let's start by the consumer buying behavior. Do you think that it is important to understand how consumers behave? Why? I'm sorry? Say it in Arabic, no problem.
طيب أنا لازم أعرف الكونسيومر بيفكر إزاي عشان على حسب تفكيره أو على حسب الإيدج بتاعه أو على حسب حاجات كتير هو بيفكر فيها أقدر بقى أبني الماركتينج أساسه.
Okay, so when you know how the consumer thinks, okay, the tastes and preferences of the consumer, right? Okay, when you understand all these things as a business, you are a marketer, or this way you can attract the customer or the consumer and offer him or her the required products, right? Okay, very good, thank you so much. So in order to be able to attract our customers, we need to know how they think, how they make the purchasing decision, how they make such a decision. This is a very important aspect in marketing, okay? Because when we assume without trying to find out, usually we make mistakes, okay? All right, let's see. According to Pilk in 1995, a rational approach has been most influential in marketing. What do you mean by the rational approach? The rational approach assumes that consumers tend to make rational choices, okay, about the products and services they buy and use. All right. The approach is concerned with understanding how individual consumers evaluate and choose products, how you as a consumer evaluate the product, and how you choose this product. Based on what? How did you make such a decision? Okay, the approach discusses this issue. All right, so that marketers can tailor their offerings more effectively to consumer needs and expectations. This way, when we understand how they evaluate the products, what they look for in any product, okay, and how they choose the product, this way, as a marketer, I can decide on the type of the product that I should offer to them, on the features, and so on, right? This way, I can attract them. This way, I can offer them the right offerings. Okay, so let's see here. This is the model of consumer behavior by Kotler. Here we have the marketing stimuli. The marketing, the thing that stimulates the desire or the want of the customer to buy something. The marketing stimuli. What the factors that stimulates or motivates or drives the customers, push them to buy the product or to feel that he has or she has a want towards some products. So this is what we call the marketing stimuli, including what? Product, price, place, and promotion. So the product, the type of the product itself, the price at which the product is offered, okay, this will motivate you to buy the product or not to buy the product, right? The place in which is it accessible, is it easy for you to go and buy the product? Okay, sometimes it's in the neighborhood, in one of the supermarkets in the neighborhood, so that you can, while you are going to work or going to the university, going back from work to home, you can go there and just select what you buy whatever you would like to, right? A promotion includes different things, as we said before. In promotion includes a lot of tools, and we have what we call a promotional mix, including the advertising, including the public relations, including the personal selling, and some other tools, okay? So this is about the marketing stimuli. Then we have other stimuli, which include economic, technological, political, and cultural stimuli. It depends on the culture. It depends on the economic situation in the society or in the community. It depends on the political aspects. All these things can drive some customers to buy or purchase some products and can prohibit them from doing this, okay? So here we have the two types of stimuli. And here we have the buyer characteristics. The buyer characteristics. What does the buyer look for? What does the buyer need or want? Okay? What about the psychological status or the psychological traits of the buyer? What about the preferences and taste of the buyer? All these things. Okay? So all these things together are here in what we call the buyer's black box. In the mind of the buyer, in the mind of the consumer, he has all these elements together. Okay? And accordingly, based on the interaction going inside his mind, he makes the decision to purchase a specific product. What does happen in this black box? Who knows? How did he make the decision? This is what we are trying to figure out. Okay? So some other models, like more advanced models, try to handle the buyer's black box. They try to interpret what's going on inside the mind of the customer. But this simple model does not go further than this. Okay? So then the buyer make the decision of purchasing. So we have the decision process. Here we have the buyer's characteristics, and here we have the decision process. All of them are taking place while we are thinking of the buyer's black box here. So here we have the buyer's responses. So accordingly, after all these stimuli, taking into consideration the buyer characteristics, taking into consideration the buyer decision process, the buyer will respond to all these things. By what? By making a decision. Okay. Product choice, this is the decision. He will choose the product. The brand choice, the dealer choice, the purchase timing, and the purchase amount. So the buyer will decide on how many things? The product, the brand, the dealer, the timing, and the amount. Okay? So now you need to get a car. Okay? And you need to get an apartment in Alexandria. You want to do that, but you have your own one here in Cairo, okay? And at the same time, you are in need for a car. So based on all these stimuli, okay, you will make the decision. You will make the decision. So you have to choose. You have limited amount of money. Either you get the car or you get the apartment in Alex. So when you make the decision, assume that based on all these stimuli, the product, the price, the place, the economic situation, and all these things, the characteristics, all these things together, you will decide to purchase the car, not the apartment. Okay? This is what we mean by product choice. Then, you will decide on the brand of the car. Which brand will you choose? For example, Kia, Hyundai, Honda, Mercedes, it depends. It depends, sure, yes, it depends. It depends on different things, okay? Then, okay, assume that you chose Hyundai, okay? Then you will choose the dealer. The dealer. From whom should I get the car? Which store? Which car dealer? Okay? Then you say المصرية للسيارات, for example. Okay? For example. You don't like it? Okay, it's up to you. This is just an example. Okay? So, now you decided on the dealer. The time. Now, within a month, after 2 months, when? The amount. When we talk about a car, it's just one car. Okay? Just one. Normally, usually, it's one car. Okay? But if we are talking about something else, like you get, for example, air conditioning, something like that, you might get 2, 3. You decide on the amount as well. Okay? All right? Okay. So here we have some explanation of the model again. Let's go through it quickly. The figure represents a simple model of consumer behavior, okay, depicting influences on consumer buying behavior, buyer decision process, and buyer responses. Okay. The model does not go into detail on what goes inside the buyer's mind. We don't know what goes inside the buyer's mind, as I told you, which we call the buyer's black books. It treats this as a black box, something which is known to exist, but the internal workings of which are unknown. We know that something is going inside this mind, but we don't know how it works, okay? For this reason, we call it black books. The model assumes that there are two main types of external influence on consumers. We have two main types of external influence on different consumers. The market stimuli, which means market offerings of different businesses, as we said, the product, the price, the promotion, and the place. These are the marketing stimuli. And the elements of the business environment as stated in the STEEP model. Which elements? Economic, technological, political. You remember these? Okay. Is the model clear? Now we understand what we mean by the buying behavior, the consumer buying behavior model by Belk. If I asked you to explain it, you will be able to? Okay. And the drawing is important as well, how to draw it. Okay? The graph, the figure. The diagram. All right. And here we have what we call types of consumer buying behavior. Types of consumer buying behavior. We have different types of consumer buying behavior. Okay, how many types? 4 types. This was a question in the final exam last semester. Yeah. This part. So, they said, okay, identify and discuss the 4 types of consumer buying behavior. Then you say, complex buying behavior, okay, dissonance, reducing buying behavior, habitual buying behavior, and variety-seeking buying behavior. These are 4 types of consumer buying behavior. 4 types. How they behave. They behave in 4 types. Okay, so let's see. When we talk about the types of consumer buying behavior and we try to classify this behavior, we have 2 main criteria. 2 main criteria based on which we classify the buying behavior of the consumer. The level of involvement in the purchasing decision, the level of involvement in the purchasing decision. This is one thing. Here we have on the horizontal axis, okay, high involvement or low involvement. What do you mean by involvement? Okay, are you as a consumer involved in the purchasing decision, or somebody else is taking this decision on your behalf? This is what we mean by the level of involvement. You got this? Are you taking the decision on your own, or you let somebody else take this decision on your behalf? This is the question. If you are not involved highly in the purchasing decision, then it is low involvement level, and vice versa. Okay? The other criteria is the awareness. It is the awareness of the level of significance of differences between brands. Now we have 2 brands, okay? Are you aware of the differences between them or not? Based on the level of your awareness of the significant differences between brands, okay, we can classify your buying behavior as a consumer. Let's see how to say that. Okay, let's see. Now here, if the consumer recognizes significant difference between brands, if you recognize significant means important. Significant means serious differences between brands. This means, okay, we are here. All right. And this type of the product, assume that this type of the product, when you buy this type, you will be highly involved in buying this product, okay? Which means we are talking about high involvement, right? High level of involvement. So significant difference between brands and high level of involvement lead us to complex buying behavior? Again, on the board. On the board. Let's see here. Assume that you would like to buy a car. You would like to buy a car. When we talk about cars, do you think that we have significant differences between Kia and Hyundai? Of course we have. And you as a consumer recognize such a significance of differences, okay? All right. So when we are talking about, now we are talking about a car. Okay, when you decide to buy a car, are you the decision maker or somebody else will do this on your behalf? You are the decision, it's your own car, so you will make the decision on your own, right? So is this high level of involvement in making decision or low level of involvement? High level of involvement, excellent. So we are here. This is high involvement level. And here we have significant differences, right? So where are we now? Here, in this area, right? Which is called complex buying behavior. Complex buying behavior. Okay. So what do you mean then by the complex buying behavior? Let's see. The complex buying behavior is characterized by high consumer involvement and significant differences between brands. Agree? High consumer involvement and significant differences between brands. It happens when a purchase is expensive, when you buy something expensive. So you decide to make the decision on your own. You are highly involved in the decision, and you have different important or significance differences between brands. So it happens when a purchase is expensive, risky, or purchased infrequently, or when consumers use the product to express themselves, like what? Cars, houses, and so on. So usually, when you buy a car, when you buy a house, when you buy something that is expensive, something that you will not get in your life 3 times, like perhaps once in life, and perhaps twice for some people, okay? So you usually follow the complex buying behavior. The complex buying behavior. Complex buying behavior requires a lot of information gathering in making the purchasing decision. You ask your family, you ask your friends, you ask everybody to gather information. You test the product if you can do it right. You take tours with different dealers. And you do a lot because you will pay a lot of money. Okay? You got that? Okay, so this is the complex buying behavior. Okay, back to here. So what about the dissonance-reducing buying behavior? In this one, when does the consumer follow this type of behavior in making the purchasing decision? This is when the consumer is highly involved in the decision-making process, okay? In the decision-making, I mean the purchasing decision-making process, okay? But at the same time, the consumer does not recognize significant differences between brands. Like what? Now you would like to pay for an insurance policy against fire, for example, for one of your properties, apartment, car, whatever, okay? Insurance. To deposit money in one of the banks. Do you recognize significant differences between in the financial services? Most of banks give almost like very close to each other in interest rate, okay? In insurance companies, you have almost similar rates, similar coverage of risk, okay? So at the end, you don't feel that significant differences are there between different businesses or different brands. When you deposit your money in HSBC, it might not make a big difference for you when you deposit your money in CIB. It's not a big issue, okay? But still you are involved in making the purchasing decision, okay? At this time, we say you, as a consumer, follow the dissonance-reducing buying behavior. The dissonance-reducing buying behavior. So dissonance-reducing is high involvement and few differences between brands. Okay? So this is the dissonance reducing. Now, what does it mean to have dissonance reducing? Consumers here are highly involved in the purchase, but have difficulties determining the differences between brands. You are highly involved. You will go and deposit your own money, but still you can't see a big difference between CIB and HSBC. Okay? For example. All right. Dissonance can result from a purchase if consumers worry afterwards that they may have made the wrong choice. After making the purchasing decision, or after making your own decision in this transaction, you feel, did I make the right decision? You ask yourself this question. Did I make the right decision? This is what we call, by the way, this is what we call the cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance, what do we mean by cognitive dissonance? Usually ladies, watch ladies in malls, okay? When they go and buy something, especially shoes, outfits, whatever, okay, ladies wear. So before purchasing, they take like different tours, many tours in the mall. Then they decide on a specific outfit or whatever the product they got, okay? So she selects this one. This outfit is wonderful, okay? After getting the outfit, she is not very happy because now she is in the stage of asking herself, did I make the right decision? Or some other outfits, more beautiful outfits are there in the mall, but I did not see. So she starts again, taking more tours in the mall to prove to herself that she made the right decision by purchasing her outfit. Yes, okay. So this is an example, but here to be to the point, the dissonance reducing buying behavior can result from a purchase if consumers worry afterwards that they may have made the wrong choice. Okay, so such as financial services and insurance. Okay, now we understand what we mean by complex buying behavior and dissonance reducing buying behavior. Okay, all right. Then habitual buying behavior, what does it mean? Let's see here. Now, you as a consumer are not highly involved in the decision-making process, so it's low involvement, and you recognize few differences between brands. So then you follow the habitual buying behavior. Okay? Habitual comes from the word habit. So you buy this, you are not highly involved because this is out of habit. When you go and buy detergent, anybody can do this on your own, right? Your sister, your mom, whoever. Okay? When you go and buy soap, a piece of soap, these are habits. You do that every day, every week. It's a frequent purchase, and it is not expensive, right? For this reason, you are not highly involved in, and no serious or real differences between brands. Very few. Okay? So this is what we mean by the habitual buying behavior. It is the most common type of buying behavior, and it happens when consumers are not very involved in the purchase. Why? Perhaps because the item is bought very frequently, every day, every week, every month you buy the product, and or does not cost much money, okay? And when they perceive few significant differences between brands, like household detergents, soap, etc. You got that? So this is the habitual buying behavior. The last one is the variety-seeking buying behavior. Variety-seeking. Low level of involvement, but significant difference between brands. Significant difference between brands. Okay, so significant difference between brands, but low level of involvement. Why? Because the product, again, is not expensive, okay? And when you change from one product to another, you do that out of just changing, okay? You try out of variety. You try, okay, today I will get Cadbury, tomorrow I get Galaxy, okay? This type of ice cream, this type of biscuits. So you do that just out of experiencing variety, okay, of consumption, variety of consumption. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I'm going in the wrong way. Here. Variety-seeking behavior. It happens when consumers perceive significant differences, okay, between brands, but are not involved in the purchase, like ice cream, biscuits, and so on. We do that. Why we follow? This is out of experiencing variety in consumption or in trying different products. Okay? So how many consumer buying behavior do we have? Types. How many types? Four. 4 types. Okay. What are they?
Buying behavior.
Complex buying behavior. Dissonance reducing buying behavior. Huh? Habitual buying behavior. And variety seeking buying behavior. How many criteria do we have that lead us to come up with these 2 criteria? 2. The level of involvement, either high or low, and the significance of differences between brands, either significant or few differences or insignificant differences. Okay? All right? So now here you understand this. Okay? Can I move to the next point? Okay. Here we have the stages in the buying decision process. So here we are talking about the buyer decision process. The buyer decision process. The buyer decision process does have a number of stages. When you make the buying decision or the purchasing decision, you should go through a number of stages, even if you are not aware of this, but this happens, okay? Even if you are not aware of doing that, but it happens. Now let's go through them, and you will know that these stages really apply to our real life. The first stage is when you feel that you lack something or you are in need for something. You are in need, you have a problem, okay? You have a problem, and you try to handle this problem by buying a specific product. And we call this stage need recognition. You recognize that you are in need for something. You are in need for something. Okay. So need recognition. Stage number two, information search. Now, you are in need for a product. You have a problem, and you know that your problem will be handled by purchasing a car. Okay? My problem is that my work is very far from where I stay, where I live, and the transportation are not, I don't feel comfortable in transportation. They are very expensive, and they are not available all the time, okay? So you have a problem, and because you have a problem, you start thinking that, okay, what about having a car, okay? So the car is the product that will handle or solve my problem, okay? All right, very good. So now we pass the first stage, which is the need recognition. Then stage number 2 is about information search. You will start to gather information about different brands, different types of cars, because you are considering buying a car, okay? So let's see here. When we talk about information search, we have different sources of information, different sources. How many sources? Mainly 4, okay? Personal sources. When we say it means what? Family, friends, neighbors. You ask your family members, your friends, your neighbors about a good car that is secure with reasonable price, okay? Something that you can enjoy and at the same time gives you the transportation benefit, because as I told you before, when we talk about products, any product, it's a bundle of benefit. We don't not talk about the physical shape. We talk about the benefit that we get out of the product, right? So you ask your family, friends, neighbors, and we call this personal sources. Then we have commercial sources. The commercial sources like advertising, salespeople, the internet, packaging, displays, all these things, okay? All these sources through the internet, through different advertising, on TV, radio, whatever, magazines. So these are the commercial sources. Through these sources, you can know about different brands of cars, because car is our example in this case. Are you okay? Okay. Public sources, mass media, consumer rating organizations. We have sometimes the government issues different reports, different announcements about different products, different companies, and sometimes in different communities we have some organizations that are specialized in evaluating and comparing different brands, different products, and so on. And they issue some reports. These reports can be to familiarize the consumers with different organizations and brands, okay, to help them to make the purchasing decision. So you can rely on the public sources. And the last one is experiential sources. This is about handling, examining, using the product. Sometimes this comes through two ways. Either you already had a car, okay, you had the product, you have an experience with the product, so you tried this brand before, okay, so you examined, you handled, and all these things, you know this, but it was an old model, and you would like to get a more recent or more advanced one. So you know that Hyundai is a very good one, but the one that you have is old model, so you would like to get another one, so that you have an experience with this car, okay? Or the type of the product itself will enable you, people there, the dealers, will enable you to go to take a tour with the car, to test it, and so on. This is another way when we talk about this source, this type of source, okay? All right, so the stage number one, need recognition. Stage number two, information search. Now you recognize that you have a need, and now you gather the necessary information, right? Stage number three is evaluation of alternatives. So the outcome we got from stage number one, say you came up with 2 or 3 different brands for cars. Kia, Hyundai, and Honda. You were able to gather information about these types or these brands, okay? Now, evaluate the alternatives. You can get Hyundai, you can get Kia, you can get Honda. Which one should you buy? Now, you have to evaluate the 3 alternatives throughout this stage. Stage number 3. You start evaluating through comparing quality, comparing security, comparing some other aspects like the price, okay? If they have after-sale services or not, okay? Warranty, okay? All these things. If they have credit facilities, when you purchase the car, will they offer you credit facilities, or you have to pay everything in cash immediately? All these things will enable you to evaluate different alternatives, okay? Then, based on this, you make the purchase decision. I decided to get, which one will you get? Huh? Honda. Okay, I agree with you. Okay, all right, so you will get, Ihab will get Honda. Okay, after making the purchase decision and everything, we have the last stage. Everybody will expect that, okay, once I made the purchase decision, khalas, done. Okay, right? Actually, still we have a 5th stage, the last one, which is what? Which is the post-purchase behavior. The post-purchase behavior. Now Ihab got the car and he is trying the car, right? Right? So if he is happy with the car, satisfied, so everything is okay. He's telling everybody the car is okay, everything is fine, and he is happy in his life. Okay? But on the other hand, if la qadr Allah is not happy with the car and some problems are there, we have three different behaviors that Ihab can adopt or follow. Which are what? Complaining. Complaining about the car to the seller, okay? To handle the problem in the car. Not to buy this type of car again. Okay? This is another behavior. The last one, telling friends about the problems and to advise them not to get this any product from this brand again. Okay? All right? So now you know what we mean by the stages of the buying decision process. How many stages do we have in the buying decision process? 5 stages. The first stage is? Excellent. Huh? The second? Information search. Huh? The third? Evaluation of alternatives. Stage number 4? Purchase decisions. And finally, the post-purchase behavior. Okay? All right, very good. So, is it easy? Okay. All right. Now we are done with the consumer marketing. We are done with the consumer marketing. So in the consumer marketing, we covered the model, the purchasing model, the consumer purchasing model, and we by bulk, and we covered the consumer buying behavior, 4 types of consumer buying behavior based on 2 criteria. And we covered the 5 stages of purchasing or buying decision process. Okay? All right. So now let's start on the business marketing. The business marketing. You remember at the beginning of the class we said consumer marketing and business to business marketing. Let's talk about the business marketing. So, do you think that there will be a difference between the consumer marketing and business to business marketing? Do you think so? Like how businesses behave in buying? Do you think that businesses will have different behavior in making the purchasing decision than people or consumers?
Yeah.
Why? Why? Yes, you are right, but why? بالعربي.
انا ممكن اشتري حاجه تكون انا ليا.
اوكي.
اكيد فرق معايا الكواليتي وفرق معايا كل حاجه. بس ممكن اشتري حاجه عشان ابيعها فمش فارقه.
But no, but still it hurts your image. This is unethical. No, Ihab and Abdul Majid. Okay.
So the difference might be the business is for all people.
Yes.
The consumer is not big like business.
You are right. Excellent. Now you are talking about the structure of the market. There is a difference in the structure of the market. When we talk about consumers, we have millions, trillions of consumers in the markets, right? Do you think that we have the same number of businesses in the market? So fewer customers in terms of business, right? Okay. The value of the deal, the value of the transaction, when you go as a consumer and buy something, one of the products, do you think that, in generally speaking, I'm not specifying a specific product, do you think that the money or the value of the transaction made by consumers will be large as the value of the transactions made by businesses? Yes, usually consumers take 1 piece, 2 pieces, right? But businesses, a lot, right? Although fewer number of businesses exist in the market, but still these fewer numbers deal in large quantities, deal in large values, right? Okay, all right. In consumer, when we talk about consumer behavior, we say that the consumer is involved. His family might be involved, okay? But in businesses, the buying unit is different. In businesses, we have a purchasing department, right? So even if you don't have a purchasing department, you have a buying unit. In this buying unit, assume that one of the companies or one of the businesses would like to buy a machinery, an equipment, okay? Do you think that just one person will be involved in that? Of course not. Engineers will be involved, research and development will be involved, right? Finance people will be involved. Sometimes marketing people might be involved, and so on. A lot of people will be there. So these are the main differences between businesses and consumers. And of course, the last difference is in terms of the types of buying behavior. We had in consumers, we have the four consumer buying behavior. In business, we have 3 buying behavior. We'll cover them now. Okay, let's take this part one by one. The market structure and demand. There are fewer buying businesses than there are consumers. Agree? Yeah. Fewer buying businesses. But each business is likely to buy much larger quantities of a product than a single consumer would. Right? Again? I said that now, just I'm reading again. Okay? Again? So here, fewer buying businesses than consumers. But the businesses usually purchase in quantities that are larger than the consumers. Okay. The nature of the buying unit. This is another difference. Business-to-business marketeers tend to rely on personal selling, usually in personal selling, directly to customers. Usually when we sell to another business, we sell our sales representative. Business-to-business rely on personal selling. I send a person to convince the other business to buy from me. Usually we rely on this, usually. And in addition to this, as I told you about having a buying unit or a purchasing department in which we have different members and different experiences are interacting to make the buying decision in businesses. The last difference is the types of buying behavior. The types of buying behavior. Here we have 3 types. In consumer, we had 4, right? Here we have 3. The new task buying behavior, the new task, this is something a business buys for the first time. When we buy for the first time as a business, we concentrate in each stage. Like we gather a lot of information. Sometimes we ask for samples of the product to try it, right? Okay. Assume that you will get a raw material for the first time. Will you purchase huge amounts without trying a sample of this raw material? Of course not. As a business, you have the right to ask the supplier to provide you, especially in the first time, with a limited number of units of raw material so that you can try it. So in the new task buying behavior, usually businesses follow this buying behavior when the business buys something for the first time. Okay? In the straight rebuys buying behavior, this is a simple repeat order for something that the business buys regularly. Now the business is used to this type of raw material and to this supplier. So when every time they order this, assume that they order this raw material monthly. So do you think that they will do all this? They go through all the stages of purchasing as when they do when they buy something for the first time? Of course not, because now they are used to it. They know the level of quality. They know the price. They know everything about the supplier. They trust the product, so they follow what we call straight rebuys. Straight rebuys buying behavior. Just like that. Okay, modified rebuy. When does the business follow this buying behavior? The business buys something it has bought before. We bought this before, but as a business, we want some modifications to the new purchase. Like we purchased this before, but we need some modifications. This time we ask for it, but we need, like for example, we need it lighter, with a smaller size, okay, different color, whatever the modification is. But still, you get the product from the same supplier. You tried this supplier before. You tried the product before, and you will resell the product again. You will purchase the product again, rebuy it again, but you will ask the supplier to conduct some modifications on the product for you. Okay, in terms of some features, colors, whatever. Of course, this will be reflected in the price. Sure. So we call this modified rebuy. Modified rebuy. Some other conditions are there. Okay? These are the 3 types of business buying behavior. So how many types of business buying behavior do we have? 3. What are they? New task, straight rebuy, and modified rebuy. Compare and contrast to the consumer buying behavior. How many? 4. Which are? Complex buying behavior. Dissonance reducing buying behavior, habitual buying behavior, variety seeking buying behavior. Okay? So if I ask you to compare and contrast the types of buying behavior between consumers and businesses, you'll be able to? Okay, very good. And here is the last issue almost we have in this session. Social and cultural aspects of consumption. Usually when we talk about consumption, we talk about consumption that we consume because we need to consume, okay? But actually, marketers nowadays tend to urge that or propose that marketing or consumption has some social and cultural aspects. Some social and cultural aspects. Okay, let's clarify these aspects one by one. The consumer society. The consumer society. This is the first issue. Consumer society is characterized by the fact that a large portion of the population has access to a wide variety of consumer goods. Now, in some countries, like the industrialized countries, okay, the more developed ones, consumption is very important for them, right? Without consumption, they will not be able to survive, because without consumption, this means that they are not selling their products and they are not reprocessing new ones, right? So consumption by itself is an important thing. For this reason, we call it a consumer society. A consumer society. Okay, consumer society has only been made possible by industrialization, which has facilitated the mass production of large numbers of consumer goods. Okay, through having the industrialization, now we are able to offer and to make available large number with large variety of products to consumers. Okay, some concern is evident regarding this, the materialism of consumer culture, because this culture is very materialistic. We care about consumption. We need people to consume as much as they can. This is usually in the States and European countries. Okay, so this might damage the natural environment. Might damage the natural environment, which is one of the negative aspects of this concept. Okay, hedonistic consumption. When we talk about this point, many people enjoy the act of shopping itself. So when you consume, it's not only about consumption just to eat, to dress, and so on. No, it's something further. It's being happy by what you get, being happy by practicing the act of shopping. Okay? I know men might not feel that, but ladies feel it. They are happy just even if they did not buy anything, but when they take tours, when they purchase something, they are happy with that. Okay? The act of shopping itself may lead people to feel happy. Okay? So buying products and services allow customers to show off their style and tastes to others. So this is when we talk about the hedonistic consumption. Consumption here is not only about having something to consume, but it's also about being happy by doing the act of shopping. Okay? All right. This is something, yeah, it's a social aspect and cultural aspect in some societies. Consumption and identity. Some people feel that they can identify and communicate their identity to others through consumption. How? The way you dress, the way the place you live in, okay, where you live, the way you dress, the way you eat. All these things reflect your image, reflect your personality, reflect your social status, reflect your economic status, right? So some people believe that consumption helps them to communicate their identity to others through consumption. Through when I go and eat in this restaurant, when I go and dress from this store, when I go and spend 3 days in this hotel. This way, I'm communicating my identity to others. Okay? This is how are you laughing? I don't do that. Just explaining. Okay? So here, this is the consumption and identity. This is a second aspect of consumption and is concerned in the way in which consumption can become a means to help people communicate their psychological identity, tastes and preferences, and economic and social status. Okay? The last one is consumption as communication. Now, when you consume, you use consumption as a way or a means of communication, communicating with others. Have you ever heard about having a business dinner? Yes. We have a deal with one of the businesses, one of the customers, and just to facilitate the transaction and to be in a nice situation, we just invite him to take, or her to take, to a business dinner, right? Dinner is consumption, isn't it? But at the same time, it's a way or a tool of communication, right? So now consumption became a way of communication. Some people look at it this way. So many consumption activities take place in social settings, most frequently the family, but also within circles of friends, work groups, and others. So consumption usually became a way of communication. When you would like to meet a friend, you ask him, okay, come and meet me in Starbucks. Let's meet in Cilantro. Let's go to eat first in this place and talk, right? So consumption became a way of communication, right? So these are the social and cultural aspects of consumption, okay? Do you have any questions about these aspects? All right. The last point is about the ethical issues in customer relations. Keep in your mind that many laws in different countries protects the rights of customers, the rights of consumers. The law protects the right of the consumer. But this is an ethical issue. Even if there is no law or some aspects in the transactions between customers and businesses are not included in some laws, this is an ethical issue that should be conducted by the business itself. For this reason, we need to emphasize that businesses have the responsibility to keep the justified interests of their customers in mind. They have to keep in mind the interests of their customer, even where there are no specific laws. This is very important. Okay? All right? Any questions? So what did we cover today? I'm sorry? Yes, the whole session is about consumption and customers.
The difference between business to business and consumer.
Okay, so business to business marketing and consumer marketing. In consumer marketing, we covered types of consumer behavior and the model, bulk by bulk, okay, and the purchasing, stages, purchasing process stages. What else? This is in consumer buying behavior or consumer marketing. In the business to business marketing, we covered the differences between business to business and consumer marketing. And what else? Part of the differences is the types of the buying behavior by businesses. How many types do we have? Three. The 4 in the consumer. And we covered the social and cultural aspects in consumption. And the last point was about the ethical issues in customer relations. Do you have any questions so far? Is it clear? Clear? Okay. So this way we have just one class, one extra class in marketing to cover sessions 4 and 5. Still, we need an extra class to cover sessions 4 and 5 because last time, as you know, was a vacation in Egypt. So we have to have an extra class to cover these 2 topics. Okay? Any questions? All right. So study hard and see you next time, inshallah. Thank you very much. Thank you.